all over the place.
Against Pablo Montes.
Pablo Montes playing Eldrazi. Oh yeah, that's one of the boogeymans of the format, right? Eldrazi came into Legacy a couple of weeks ago, and it hit it really hard. Like I've seen some online challenges where it's like 4 out of 4 is all Eldrazi.
Pablo was the one who dropped me from the tournament.
Oh, he crushed you.
Yeah. Very close games. He played pretty well, so no reason to be against.
You know which Eldrazi deck actually, which Eldrazi card scares me so much that people don't play, and I guess it's because of the mana. It's called Linebreaker.
The Linebreaker. That's the one with haste.
Yeah. No, nobody plays that, right?
Yeah, they played. They played.
Okay.
There is the Max Torsion list with Mox Diamond plays it. So, but I think the Eldrazi deck now has a lot of issues with the mana that it doesn't have in the past. For example, it needs colored mana to cast spells, and also Eye of Ugin in the past was an amazing card, and now a lot of cards have like pure colorless plus 1 colorless plus 1 color mana. So Eye of Ugin only discounts 1 mana. From
just like a normal land at that point. Yeah, at best.
So it has a lot of tension because if you want to cast your colored spells and you have maybe 9 colored sources in the deck,
it's
never
like,
easy.
yeah, that's rough. Especially in a deck that doesn't even like use cantrips or anything. Like I guess they got this cantrip where you can like exile the top cards at the beginning of the match.
They have the Eldrazi.
Eldrazi something that in the late game it's kind of like a Vindicate or something. Yeah.
I lost against this card.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I had a troll and he survived at 1 life when he killed my troll with the Vindicate. I was like, I have a Fossil Will, but...
Okay, so Pablo makes Chalice of the Void on the very first turn, puts it to 1. Marco's like, okay, you got that. I'm just going to cycle my troll and make a Frog, one of the best cards in the format right now. So let's see what Pablo's going to be up to on the second turn.
Pablo has a command, a Cothirex command in hand. That's the card that you need in the spot if he has it.
Let's see if he can make it work.
Usually, one of the reasons that Eldrazi has taken the spot from the Chalice decks against the Blood Moon deck is because the Blood Moon deck cannot deal with the Frog. They you can play Blood Moon and you can play Chalice and you can play anything. They get Frog out and they just discard all my hand, hit you for 5, draw a card.
I'm gonna have the biggest creature on the board. Yeah. Okay, I see.
And the Blood Moon deck, they can play only red removal, only Pyroblast can kill it, but all the other burn spells doesn't kill the Frog. So.
Glaring Flashraker, by the way, getting dazed here.
Even with mana on pull, he had 1 mana floating, but it's only for Eldrazi spells.
Exactly. You can't spell it. It's the old problem when you see Energy Flux and you think you can pay with Workshop. No, you cannot. it's a very specific type of mana. But it that heralds the end, is that like completely free? No, you use the 1 mana floating, right?
Yes, the 1 mana floating and the Eye of Ugin discounts 1. That's what I told you early.
Yeah,
in the past with the Eldrazi Mimic, you will just go Eye of Ugin, Eldrazi Mimic, and now you have like to sequence this. And now we have seen Marco putting up the clock by discarding the 1-drop that he had that cannot be played because of Chalice.
Yeah, the Reanimates.
That's also what happens with Chalice. Your opponent has like cast Fossil Will with Brainstorm when you have a Chalice. So this Fossil Will is almost free. this card you pitch is free because of my Chalice.
People are saying Marco accidentally played a second land this turn. I think might have actually happened after the days, but can't really rewind that. We're only going to be live for the top 8. So now Pablo is going to get down the Cavern of Souls. And what else does he have going on in his hand there? You don't really want to just like pass back unless you have like a removal spell at the very least. I struggle to actually identify those cards because I know what the cards do once they come into play, but
one is I think he has Sowin Microspawn.
Okay.
Yeah, here the thing is Marco played on the second land, probably yes, but here's always, does it really matters in this spot? So the advantage is that fetch land can get a survey land, but does he have something to cast yet with it?
Well, the thing is, like, it equalizes as soon as Marco stops playing a land, and if he hasn't gained an advantage until then it doesn't really matter, except that he was like bluffing something, but I don't think that's really what's happening here.
Depends. Like, maybe he played the land just because I can play a land, I play a land.
But especially with Frog, like, you don't even want to overplay your lands, right? A lot of time, you already want to hold lands sometimes for Brainstorm, but now we might even want to hold lands for Frog.
So if he would have realized, maybe he just played the fetch land and he can't get the survey land anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so let's see. There's another Cavern of Souls.
Cavern of Souls to get colorless mana, more than uncounterable spells. And now Thognot's here. Everyone's friend. No!
Oh, that's a 5/5 now,
Pablo
right?
is... this situation is quite good. Oh, days. But here we have a problem. Because... Oh, it was countered?
Oh, I think he just like discarded.
He discarded both cards to just... Okay.
So they don't get under the Thoughtnuts here. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
You can play the days, maybe. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess you can play the days and then discard the... Or if you don't need to discard the
And then the advantage of playing an extra land was almost nothing, because he could have played a fetch land earlier instead of the Underground Sea, so he will get still the Surveil.
I think he'd rather actually have that Underground Sea still in hand.
Yes. Maybe yes. Now it's a race situation.
Yeah. Like if you can find some jump blockers and then just like send this guy to the air, hit him for 5.
Try to race. Good players like to race.
So what's it like? So that's like 9 damage, and then it that heralds the end is it like a 1/1 or is it a 2/2?
The Lord is a 2/2 that makes 1/1 to the rest. So the backswing is
so
2, 4, 9, 11.
Yeah.
So that's
a command.
That's a quite big. Oof. I don't know if he can raise. 12.
So Pablo shouldn't be on 12 anymore, right?
That's the second attack? Yeah, maybe yes. Maybe that's the...
I thought the frog already attacked twice now, yeah.
Yeah, but the first one was for 1, and then it was for 2 or 3, maybe. I think for 3.
Okay. Oh, dude, now it's getting like dicey. Yeah. What can we do here? We're gonna discard that card and send it to the air and hopefully draw something that we need. I guess that's Marco's idea.
Yeah, animate that will be pretty good. Like he can put a blocker, but still, if plays a blocker there.
Like I guess Bowmaster, if he played that gives you like 2 blockers.
No, I think it's over.
Yeah, I don't think he can do it.
Like we said earlier, going wide, it's a good plan against this scam deck.
Yeah, dude, I love going wide in Legacy. I don't know why, but I always find myself, whether it's like Maverick, Elves, I just like really love the stuff.
So maybe the most hated card from you is Terminus?
Yeah. How would you ever know that? Yeah. It's kind of funny. There was a time in my life, for a very short moment, I was like, what if I buy all Terminus on card market? And I was like, okay, never mind. Yeah. I was like, if I buy all of them, then nobody can play them. I was like, okay, yeah. Get a grip on reality, Julian. So, Eldrazi on the draw this time, Marco.
On this deck, the Eldrazi deck, if the mana gets to work, you are in very good spot against the blue-black scam deck, because they play not only the 7 mana Vindicate card, they also play the Eldrazi that is 1 colorless and 1 Eldrazi colorless, that you can play green and exile an enchantment, or you can play blue and colorless and bounce a creature.
Yeah.
So that card gets you a lot of tempo against the Reanimate Troll or Reanimate Grief, and those both cards, the Vindicate card and the Bones guy, are triggers on cast, not on comes into play. So
you can't even stop that, right?
Yeah, you can stifle.
Yeah, maybe that's the next evolution.
now you can play the Consign Memory.
Consign to Memory, yeah.
Which is a card that...
Actually, that card is pretty good, right?
Yeah. If you're playing against a Consign Memory deck and you play Ursa Saga, and if it's going to go to chapter 3 and you want to make a token, you have to state, or in Magic Online, click on your draw phase. So you make the token on draw phase, and then you search on main phase, because if you make the construct code token in response to the chapter 3 trigger, they can consign memory on
and get
play
rid of both.
So they get both. So that's a play that you have
That's so smart.
Yeah. So you have to know that to do it, because when you get blown out by that, because you can always say, on paper you can always say, wait, I drew, but I'm still on my draw phase. I'm thinking what to do before I move to my main phase. In Magic Online, if you doesn't have the stop on draw phase, you can be like Ansi, who was not playing Miracles anymore, and he was always the Miracle trigger.
Oh god, and always timing out then. Oh man, okay.
I think it's crazy, those people, Ray Duke also does this, that they have all the stops on Magic Online. It's like, why you have to do this to yourself.
It's kind of funny. Like I have a certain number of stops, and every time I want to go to a certain phase, I know I have to press F2 so many times. And when anything changes, and I'm like, oh damn, wrong phase. Like I try to play it like a keyboard, almost like. I have like yes and no bound to different keys.
We are here on the hand. They are getting grief, so we have the Bones guy, Boseiju, Cosilex command, the Vindicate guy, and the Sowin Microscam, the Wasteland.
That's another MVP, right?
Yeah.
We see that in Cloud Post all the time. It basically has replaced
in Legacy.
The Titan.
That card, I think it's amazing. Like double Wastelanding your opponent.
Yeah.
Well, in Modern, people are playing that card, and I think it's not so good because the lands you get is usually, I have 4 mana, I get another Urza's Tower. It's like, you already had 4 mana, which is the choke point of your deck. So it's I'm rich, so I'm gonna be a bit richer, but.
Yeah, when you realize that the land comes into play untapped, you're like, oh damn.
So against Pablo, the round he beat me, I had no lands in play.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It was Wasteland this, Sowin Microspam that. Okay, no spells.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna get a command. What are we gonna do?
Exile the frog.
And then scry or something. Maybe, and draw a card.
Probably getting tokens here because he getting to the 7 mana spell is quite fine. So, and then the 7 mana Eldrazi is quite the win condition. So. Oh, he kept all the Reanimator package. So let's see, attack with my frog. So here probably Pablo is gonna try to kill the frog plus exile Archon with the next command, the next turn.
I can see that.
Like getting rid of Archon, even if Chalice is on board, you never want to have an Archon get reanimated by animated, because that's the card that beats you.
Such a tough card to overcome. So second try, is it gonna get force offered?
Marco has a force, but the other card is a land, and does he have an... Oh, no blue card.
No, okay.
Only 2 cards, and it's waste plus. He didn't exile the Archon. Oof, animate that.
Oh, that's okay.
Animate,
Anyway, that would be it, right? But he'd need to rip it from the top. So how many animate that does the deck play? 4? 4, yeah.
Animate the second best reanimator spell in cube. Because it can target your opponent things. So waste your temple.
Let's see, what are we gonna do? Picking up a card here. Eye of Ugin. Gonna be the draw.
Here you see that Pablo has the Bones creature, and he can destroy enchantments or artifacts, but he doesn't have the blue mana to be able to cast it because, like I told you, the colorless mana is a real struggle on this deck.
Yeah. You can use Cavern of Souls mana to pay for kicker, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can do
but
that.
Here, for example, if Marco wastelands the Ancient Tomb, Pablo will not be able to cast colorless spells because he doesn't have colorless mana. That's a real colorless mana.
Yeah, true.
So
the waste mana, basically. Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna cast our 7-drop, as you mentioned earlier. How big is it actually? Is it 4/4?
6/6.
Oh, 6/6.
Yeah,
okay.
Quite.
That can take out a troll.
It's still a 4-turn clock.
Yeah.
So here, I think it's strange because Pivo drew the troll and he could have searched for the second surveillant earlier to make it the last turn, and he didn't do it until end phase, which I think it's quite strange.
Maybe he was playing like kind of like around a second command, so he wanted like Pablo to remove the Archon with 1 command. Then he has another fatty that he can put into graveyard. I don't know.
Maybe he didn't remember the second surveillant because it's not usual that you play it.
Yeah. Okay, we surveil away the grief. Yeah, it doesn't sound like the most exciting card here. Picking up a second Chalice of the Void for Pablo. Do you put that on 2?
If you have the 4th mana, yes.
Yeah.
So that seems like no.
Okay, pick up Atraxa. Not exactly what we want here.
Atraxa is a blue card at least.
Okay. So but we're still facing down a 6/6 here.
Yeah.
Let's see where this is going. Oh, this looks like really bad for Marco now. As he mentioned, he needs the animate dead. And actually, if he can rip the animate... Oh, never mind.
With the animate dead, it's not a game over because Pablo called kicker for green
but that's good enough. Like putting this on 2. Pablo, Montes...
Why he doesn't force?
I think he feels like he just can't do it. Yeah, you got a point, but...
But he can still rip animate dead. Oh, that was game 2.
That was game 2, yeah, it's over.
The first game was... So Pablo Montes killing all the scam decks.
All the scam decks. Yeah, scam is not having the best weekend thus far. At least yesterday we only had one copy in the top 8. But I always feel like these decks that are like super well represented online, they are not super over-represented in paper. Not everybody just like, you know, can just go out there and say, hey, today I'm playing scam, as you often can on Magic Online.
But with here in this tournament, you can play scam.
Yeah.
It's much easier. So that also makes that the metagame predictions are a bit different, because this the metagame for this tournament and the metagame for example, 4 seasons are not the same tournament, because players have access to different cards and different decks. And because in Italy everyone loves to play blue-white timeout piles.
Yeah. That's just like what everybody in Italy does. Like when they go for breakfast or something, or for food, like everybody just like afterwards to fall asleep, you just play blue-white control mirrors. Just I remember watching it like at 4 seasons when they played like 50-minute game once and something. And it's just everybody sitting there trying to resolve 4th Erlingas. But yeah, Pablo sitting at 6-1, and we will see whether he will be able to draw into the top 8 or has to play the last round.